This aspect of quadratic equation, we will be using formula to solve them. But one thing is that quadratic formula is actually derived using completing the square method. And one beauty about completing the square method and the formula is that there's no type of quadratic equation they cannot handle. So whether the one that is factorizable or the one that is not factorizable. So yeah, but one thing again is that most of the times or sometimes examiner prefers to say, okay, use completing the square method. I want to encourage every candidate to master all the three methods so that in case they are asked to use a particular method, they are restricted to a particular method, they will be able to still have their way around it. So for the A part, we want to solve this equation x squared minus 5x minus 14 equals 0. So we compare this equation to the general form of quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. If you look at the value of a here, you know it's coefficient of x squared, value of b here is coefficient of x, and this c is the constant. So that means a here is 1, b is minus 5, and c is minus 14. So the formula we want to use is that if your quadratic equation is made of letter x, you will say x equals to, but if it is made of letter k, for example, you say k equals to, then you now write the formula that we call quadratic formula, minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, everything down, divided by 2a. The expression inside this square root is what we call discriminant. We are still going to use it in our next class. The one you have, if you remove the whole of this expression with root, and you have minus b over 2a left. This one is what we use to find equation of the line of symmetry. That is the value of x at corresponding to the turning point of this curve. Suppose this curve is plotted now in a Cartesian plane, in a graph. So the value of x there would have been this. And it is that value of x, if you substitute it back in the original equation, you get the value for the minimum or the maximum depending on the nature of the curve. Like this curve now, since coefficient of x squared is positive, if you plot it, it will give you something like cup, U-shape. But suppose the coefficient of x squared is negative, if you plot it, it will give you something like this. And any curve like this has property of maximum value, while this one has that of minimum value. Okay, let's move on from here. From here, we can conclude that we need value for A, we need value for B, we need value for C. But the value of A is the coefficient of x squared, as we can see. So A in that case equals to 1. And B is the coefficient of x, meaning that B here is negative 5. B is minus 5. And if you look at C, C is the constant, the one without the variable x. And in this case is minus 14. So all we do is to substitute appropriately in the formula, then we simplify down to get the value for x. So now x equals to minus b. Unfortunately, b itself is another negative value. That is minus 5 plus or minus square root of b squared, that is negative 5. B is negative 5 squared minus 4a, that is 4 times 1 times c, negative 14. Everything over 2 times a is 1. So we have this as minus times minus is plus. We have plus 5 plus or minus square root of negative 5 squared. That is minus 5 times minus 5. Negative times negative is positive, and 5 times 5 is 25. Then this one is minus 4. Minus 4 times 1 is minus 4. And that result of minus 4 times minus 14. Minus times minus is plus. So candidate must be careful, especially when your constant is negative. So minus 4 while multiplying, you have positive there. So we now say 4 times 14, and we get 56. All divided by 2. It's important for us to know that this denominator it covers everything, not just this root part. And we have x equals to 5 plus or minus square root of, if you have 56 and 25 together, you get 81 over 2. And this implies x equals to 5 plus or minus square root of 81 is 9 over 2. So we can as well separate this. Since we have plus or minus there, let's first use plus, that is 5 plus 9 divided by 2, or x equals to 5 minus 9 divided by 2. Sorry. We have x equals to 5 plus 9 is 14 divided by 2 give us 7, or x equals to 5 minus 9 is minus 4 divided by 2 is minus 2. So which is still, that means all the answers converge. We get the same answer for 3 methods. And we'll quickly solve the B parts by the use of formula as well. The B part, we are solving 3x squared minus 10x plus 8 equals 0. From here, we can obviously see that a equals to 3, coefficient of x squared, b equals to negative 10, coefficient of x, and c in this case is positive 8. And we still use our normal formula, which is x equals to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So we have x equals to minus b, but here b is also negative. That is minus 10 plus or minus square root of negative 10 squared minus 4 times a is 3, times c, 8. Everything over 2a, 2 times 3. So from here we have x equals to negative minus minus, that is plus 10 plus or minus square root of minus 10 squared is minus 10 times minus 10, which is plus 100. Then for this one, minus 4 times 3 minus 12. Minus 12 times plus 8 is minus 96 over 2 times 3 is 6. We now have x equals to 10 plus or minus square root of 4 over 6, which implies 10 plus or minus square root of 4 is 2 over 6. So we can separate the sign as x equals to 10 plus 2 over 6, or x equals to 10 minus 2 over 6. And this will eventually give us 10 plus 2 is 12, divided by 6 is 2, or 10 minus 2 is 8, divided by 6. X equals to 8 over 6. But 8 over 6 is reducible. 2 in 8, 4. 2 in 6, 3. That is 4 over 3, which was the answer we got when we use the other two methods, factorization and completing the square method. This has taken us to the three methods that we promised to use for solving quadratic equations. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to also like the page. Like the page and share it with others that can also benefit from the videos.